All right, guys, let's jump into it now. The first story is, well, me. It's all fun and games until you accidentally become governor of New Hampshire. I, I have to say, okay, so yesterday was the convention, the annual convention for the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire. I've never been to one of these things before. I had no idea what to expect. And, we had a really great day. It was an amazing turnout, one of the biggest turnouts they've had in a while. Mises Caucus swept everything, swept the EC. I also actually became a delegate, which I'll talk about in a second. But I mean, the big news is essentially for me, there's a couple big things that happened at the convention that impact all of us. I received the nomination for the Libertarian Party candidate for governor. I have the official party endorsement. Now, this is something that we had talked about, and I had posted a video thinking that like maybe I would run for governor as kind of like a goof. But this is something that we talked about like as a way to, quite frankly, make sure that we had a candidate for governor that we, as the people kind of like in control of the party, would get behind. But really, I mean, what you guys need to hear, and I am serious about this, is most of our resources are actually going to go to Jeremy Kauffman for Senate, because my friend, founder of Librarian Odyssey, Jeremy Kauffman, got the nomination for Senate yesterday at the convention. And this is actually the race that I want people to donate to. This is the race that I'm going to be working to support. We're all going to be working to support Jeremy. Jeremy is, listen, he's a little bit of a controversial figure on the internet. If you see his tweets, he has some spicy tweets, but Jeremy is one of the most principled people that I've met in a while. He is highly intelligent. He has built 2 successful businesses. He's an all-around good guy. He understands the culture of New Hampshire. He is exactly the right person to run for Senate in New Hampshire representing the Libertarian Party. And so, even though I did get nominated for governor, I'm not actually going to put a lot of energy into that idea, mostly because I don't really want to be governor, but also because my focus and my priority is making sure that Jeremy gets as much support as he can in his Senate run in New Hampshire. I actually think this is a much more important race. This is a much more pivotal race. And we're going to do extremely bold messaging around Jeremy's candidacy. So I'm really looking forward to that. Head over to jeremy4nh.com. Please make a gift of support. We're already fundraising, guys. Fundraising for Jeremy is off and running. We've already got a lot of commitments coming in. Jeremy's getting on the phone. There's some big people sending in some big gifts. So we're going to be able to have some stuff to play with. And this is what I am really, really excited about. But I just want to take a second and acknowledge that, I did get the nomination for governor, and I was not expecting it. I was actually extremely surprised by this because it is something that we had talked about doing, but I thought that we had kind of put the idea to the side and we weren't actually going to have a candidate for governor. We were just going to focus on Jeremy's Senate race because we have a limited amount of resources. It's not as though we wouldn't love to run candidates for everything, but we do have a limited amount of resources and we have a limited amount of people, and it's all volunteer and it's all in our free time, and all of us are really busy people anyway, and we all have other things that we're doing. So it was my understanding that we were just going to put our resources behind Jeremy's Senate race, and the whole idea of me getting nominated for governor was kind of like just we were being silly and we were talking about it. And then someone actually nominated me for governor. Thanks, Ian. And so I accepted because I thought it would be ungracious not to accept. And I was actually really genuinely flattered by the whole thing. I thought it was actually pretty great. I was not expecting it. I also did actually become a delegate to the Libertarian National Convention in Reno. There are 13 of us that became delegates for the national conference. And honestly, I was actually really, really kind of surprised by that as well, because the Mises Caucus organizers basically put together the slate. They coordinated the whole thing. They put together the slate of candidates that they wanted, that were either part of the Mises Caucus or very friendly to the Mises Caucus. And so they put the whole slate together, and they had actually talked to me a couple months ago. And, there are delegates and then there are alternate delegates if the delegates can't make it. Now, New Hampshire has a lot of committed libertarians. So there were a lot of people that wanted those delegate spots. And I'm not going to say I didn't want one. I absolutely did. But what I always said was that if there were people that were involved in the party that were there before me, I wanted them to have the slot over me, just because there were a lot of people that were expressing interest in those slots. And so there were absolutely people in the LPNH that I would have been perfectly fine them having a delegate slot, because I was going to go to the convention anyway. And I said to the organizers, I was like, I don't really care if I'm a delegate or an alternate. And my understanding was the plan was that like I was going to be an alternate. That was the last that I heard. And then the list came out yesterday morning and I was on the delegate list. And I got to admit, I was really flattered. It felt really good. And so I do want to thank the people in the LPNH. I mean, I truly, truly feel as though I have found my people in this party. I genuinely love and appreciate them. So many committed people that fight the hard fight. It's not easy being a libertarian in this world. It's a little bit easier in New Hampshire than it is in other places, that's for sure. But I was really genuinely flattered and I appreciated it. And even though I'm going to have some fun with this, like this morning I tweeted out, and this is actually something serious, man. If I did actually become governor of New Hampshire, my day one executive order would be that I would sign an executive order mandating every government funded school put a camera in every classroom to broadcast what teachers are teaching students to the parents of those students. And we know they already have all the equipment because they were all doing virtual learning for the entirety of 2020. So don't mess around with money. We know you guys have cameras. We know you guys know how to do this. So this is my day one executive order. If I do become governor of New Hampshire, that I will sign an EO mandating a camera in every public school classroom or government funded school classroom. And if they don't put the cameras in the classrooms within like a 6-month period, they don't get any more funding. That's my only policy position that exists. Besides, of course, my official policy position, which is vote for Jeremy Kauffman for Senate. But guys, if you do live in New Hampshire, I will say this. We are going to need to collect signatures. So the reason this is actually becoming like a real thing with me running for governor is we can collect signatures. We have to collect about 3,000 signatures across New Hampshire to get both Jeremy and now me on the ballot, because we can collect signatures for both at the same time. So if you live in New Hampshire, if you can come and help us collect signatures, let me know. Reach out to the LPNH. We are trying to coordinate some volunteers to be able to do this. I actually think we're going to be able to do this pretty quickly with how excited so many people are about Jeremy's Senate run. And then I'm like a tagger on. Justin and Ian figured out some way to collect signatures for both Jeremy and me at the same time, like a multi-candidate sort of signature. And so I'm like a tagger on, but we really do need help in collecting signatures for Jeremy's Senate run. And again, you guys are going to be hearing a lot more from Jeremy over the next several months. I hope to have him on the channel several times. We can do some AMAs. He's really, honestly, one of the most intelligent dudes I've spoken to in a while. He has spent years and years thinking through some of these positions. Does he say them in a little bit of a spicy way to make a point? Yeah, he does, but he never, ever, 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 ever comes from an unprincipled place. And that's what I really respect about Jeremy Kauffman. He never, ever, ever comes from an unprincipled place. When he says something, it's because it's something he's thought about. He's thought about how it relates back to libertarian values. It's not something, usually, that he's doing off the cuff. Oh, we have Ian in the chat. Ian tricked me into running for governor. Ian, I appreciate the nomination. I do feel as though you have tricked me. but that's okay. I'm going to roll with it because we have to roll with it. We have to roll with it. And I think we're going to have a really good time. Emphasize, thank you for the super chat. University of Kansas, required academia. Angry white male studies needs to be angry white women studies. Oh, really? Oh, that's fun. We get mad at what women tell us to do. Emphasize, I'm going to have to look into that. Thank you for the super chat. And Claudia, thank you for becoming a member on the channel. I greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate the support. Savrit says, hi, Karlyn. I'm glad to catch you live. Keep up the good work. By the way, my notifications are screwed up with your channel. Dude, YouTube ain't sending out any notifications for my channel. I can always tell. When YouTube is not sending out notifications for my channel. They have been screwing with my channel epically lately. But you know what? We're carrying on. We're just going to keep going. We're going to keep grinding every single day. Guys, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, or if you think you're subscribed, just double check real quick. YouTube may have made that decision for you. And of course, please make sure you mount that like button. Ian is telling us that we need 15. Oh, wait, hang on. We need 1,500 signatures from each congressional district. I think we're going to knock this out. I really do. This is something I'm not worried about. And he also thinks I can beat Daryl Perry's results. Jackie Perry, guys, you guys all remember Jackie Perry. Jackie Perry is the woman in New Hampshire who tried to put a hex on the Mises Caucus. I did a video about it a while ago. Jackie is not happy about this. I gotta be honest, again, this is one of those things for me that, running for governor is a serious thing, and I don't want to dismiss it. But the most fun thing so far for me in this whole thing is just seeing the epic amount of whining and complaining that has happened from people who don't like me over the fact that I got this nomination. People are crying so hard. It's amazing. And every time they cry, I simply thank them for their endorsement for governor.